Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy GPTV. I'm Brett. It's Wednesday, which means it's new comic book day, and there's new comics, digital, physical. You should go out to your shop to go get them. Whether or not they're single issues or trade paperbacks or graphic novels, it's like Christmas for comic book fans. I love Wednesdays. So Marvel's hooked us up with 4 trade paperbacks, and this is seriously like 10 pounds worth of books. You can see I'm straining, holding them all kinds of eras from different characters, which is really, really fun. So this is volume 13 of the Epic Collection for Captain America. It includes Captain America 318 to 332 and annual number 8. Amazing Spider-Man 278, material from Marvel Fanfare 29 and 31 to 32. It's the Justice of Surf storyline, which basically deals with Scourge. It also has him fighting Blue Streak, Flag Smasher, the Slug, D-Man's in there, Wolverine, there's Super Patriot, and of course Captain America's No More, which feels like happened like every other year at that point, and Captain America would take a different persona. Overall, it's classic Captain America. If you've enjoyed it, this is a great way to get it all together. It's $39.99. I'm sure you're going to be able to find it cheaper online if you want to. But I think really, like, this just sums it up right there. Those costumes, it screams the 80s. As I say, Wolverine's in there because Wolverine was like in everything at that time. As far as extras, there's not a ton. We get some covers throughout, which is pretty entertaining. There's letter pages, excerpts, which I think is kind of neat. But overall, like it's of the time. It's raidism, it's the 80s. You go with it. So if you are into Captain America, want to check out old Captain America, I think this is highly worth picking up. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy Road to Annihilation Volume 2. This collects She-Hulk 44 through 46, Thanos 7 through 12, Marvel Monsters, Monsters on the Prowl, and Nick Fury's Howling Commandos 1 through 6, and number 1 Director's Cut, written by John Byrne, Keith Giffen, Steve Niles, illustrated by Byrne, Ron Lim, Duncan Figueredo, Eduardo Francisco, Dan Norton, Derek Aquan, and Mike Norton. So this is in the wake of Annihilation events. Star-Lord recruited the Rocket and Groot to the Guardians of the Galaxy, but were the 3 unlikely heroes doing in the years before they came together? So this is a nice retro look at those characters, going over some of their previous stories that span the decades. So this really is a cross of so many years. I don't think it lists. Yeah, I don't know if it lists as to like how old some of this stuff is, but it goes back pretty good. The Road to Annihilation title is a little bit odd. I think it's, obviously to tie in that amazing storyline that happened like years ago. So there's that, and, again, if you're into retro, want to check out these characters before they became big, going back to stuff from the 70s and 80s and whatever, this is handy ways to do it. It's $34.99. You definitely get a hell of a lot of in here. See if this has got number page. It doesn't have a page count. There is scripts, which I think is really neat. I always like extras like that. And then there is sketches as well, so you can check some stuff out there. I mean, basically, if you're into Marvel Cosmic, I think this is a solid pickup. If you don't have these comics, if you've never read them before, this is a good way to go about it. Speaking of an easy way to read a whole bunch of stuff, we got the Mighty Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis, the complete collection. This collects the 2007 series Mighty Avengers 1 through 20, written by Brian Michael Bendis, illustrated by Frank Cho, Mark Bagley, Marko Djurdjevic. I'm always going to butcher that one. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Alex Maleev, Khoi, Pham, John Romita Jr., Stefano, Caselli, and more. I mean, this was kind of that weird Avengers team that had Ares and Sentry, and Captain Marvel was kind of in charge of things. Black Widow, Iron Man, like, it was a very odd time for the series, and it was an interesting team, especially with Ares and Sentry being part of it. If you didn't pick it up, it could be worth it. It is one big giant read, so you're getting all 20 issues, and you can get some solid art. I mean, the one thing that always stood out, and I remember reading this in 2007, was the art was always pretty good. So that's pretty damn cool if you ask me. Yeah, basically if you want to read all that in one sitting, this is totally worth it. For $39.99, I think it's like, it's what, 20... Yeah, it's like $1.50 an issue roughly, which is not bad at all. So $1.50 issue, I think it's price alone, it's pretty solid. And the story is good too. Finally, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Prelude. So this one's interesting in that it includes the Guardians of the Galaxy Prelude 1 through 2 by Will Corona, Pilgrim, Chris Allen, Andrea Muti, Scott Hanna, Roberto Poggi, and Andres Mosa, plus Giant Size Avengers number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy from 1990 number 1, and Guardians Team Up 1 through 2. Okay, so the Prelude I think is fascinating in that it's just kind of a recap of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not really a prelude for the most part. It's a here's what you saw in the movie. And the art's kind of to me. Like, I'm not going crazy for it. But again, the things that I like about it, kind of like the Road to Annihilation, is that it's got the retro stuff. So we've got some old school comics in there that if you haven't read them before, it's worth it. Like, it goes through the decades. There's a bunch of different stuff in there, a whole bunch of different characters. So, you know, in that way, it's worth it at $17.99. You know, it's price-wise, it's probably a little bit high. You're getting, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comics. It's about $3, so not quite the greatest deal in the entire world. I personally, if you wanted to do Guardians of the Galaxy, I would probably go with the Road to Annihilation over this. As far as kind of the lead up to the movie, there's not much really having to do with the movie in it, other than going through characters and giving you some hints and stuff like that. So this could be a good one to go back to post-movie if you want to read through some stuff, remind you, maybe check out some characters that are in the film, that are in these stories that we don't necessarily know about yet, which I'm sure that's kind of the bigger playoff as to what this is. So this is out of the 4 things, this is probably the least of the ones me going, hey, go check it out. But if you see the movie, you love the movie, I have a feeling some of the key characters in there will be in stories in here, but I don't necessarily know everything in the film, so it's kind of hard to say. So this might be a go check it out afterwards, is my recommendation. So we're probably going to come back to this one post-movie and see how well it really ties into things, and we'll do it for like a Retro Friday or something like that. So we got 4 choices, enough to possibly break your axle on your car. It really is heavy, and I'm a geek and I have no upper body strength, so I'm struggling here. Thank you, Marvel, for hookup. As far as this, you should go check out your local comic book shop. There is a link beneath this video that you can go and find your local comic book shop. Go support them. That's a big thing about our site. We want to go and support the comic community, and especially shops, because without shops, we don't have a community. If you seriously don't have a shop near you, we've got 2 links below this that are affiliate links. So one through Things for Another World, another one's Amazon. Amazon, these will be released not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So it will be the 18th. So you'll be able to get it there. Things from Another World, you'll be able to get it now. But again, go to your shop first. If you're into comic books, if you're into Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, or whatever, you should go check us out at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. All at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Thanks again, Marvel, for this. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, make my Marvel and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.